What if the tomb that Jesus Christ was buried in before he was resurrected is hidden in downtown Salt Lake City? And what if there are actually people who know this and are leaving clues that they know? Huge shout out to one of my followers, TJ, for sharing this with me. This is an observation that she made, and I'm so glad she reached out to me because I don't think this is something that would have ever crossed my radar. So I had to do a quick Google search, and she's correct. She said there is a Jewish custom where Jewish people place small rocks, stones, or pebbles on graves when visiting rather than leaving flowers. This custom signifies respect, honors the memory of the deceased, and indicates that the grave has been visited. It has also become a custom because during the times of the temple in Jerusalem, Jewish priests became ritually impure if they came within 4 feet of a corpse. As a result, Jews began marking graves with piles of rocks in order to indicate to passing, I don't even know that word, that they should stay back. Oh, it's passing priests. To warn passing priests, they should stay back. Here is an image that my follower sent me of when she personally visited the grave site of Joey Ramone. I believe Joey was Jewish, and you can see all the rocks piled on top of his headstone. Here are some more images of rocks on headstones and grave sites that I just pulled from Google. Again, I know very little about this topic. I actually know nothing about it except what Google has told me, but I would be interested to know what you guys know about it and if anyone has anything to add to this conversation. Now let me show you what my follower pointed out to me. She said that she noticed while looking through Google Earth and Google Map images and watching some of mine and others' videos of the site of the tomb that there were rocks piled on top of what we believe to be the tomb of Jesus, before he rose, of course. Now, this tomb originally belonged to Joseph of Arimathea, and he basically lent it to Jesus and to Jesus's friends so that they could bury him close by to where he was crucified. So it makes sense that later Joseph of Arimathea was potentially also buried in this tomb when he passed. So there could potentially be someone buried here, in addition to Christ having been buried here when he was crucified. So what my follower pointed out is if you compare photos and you have to kind of pull them off of Google Earth and Google Maps, they're from all different time periods, and these stacked and piled rocks change. This image is from 8 years ago. You can see the little wicker fence in the background. This is that same stone with the wicker fence behind it, and you see how the stones are stacked differently. Here's yet another image of that same stone with that same wicker fence behind it. Now this kind of round wheel-shaped flat stone, we conjecture is possibly the stone that was rolled in front of the door to the tomb. Here's another image. This would be the tomb. It's called the garden shed currently, but you'll notice there's no little rocks across the top there, across that top ledge. But then if you go back in time, you'll see that there are little rocks and little stones piled along that same ledge. Here's a little closer view. So that round flat stone I showed you before is off and back to the right of this image. I find this extremely intriguing, but like I said, I know very little about this topic. But if anyone out there has additional photos from different time frames of this area, or if you live nearby and want to go snap some and put them in the comments, I would really love to see them. And this is in Gilgal Sculpture Park in Salt Lake City, Utah. In the structure we believe is the tomb that has been bricked over is called the gardener's shed. And if you remember, Jesus was crucified in a garden. If this is the first time seeing one of my videos and you're completely confused, Please go check out my playlist if you're watching this on TikTok called Calvary. And I have a couple more fairly extensive videos explaining this whole concept in more detail. Okay, drop your photos and your comments below. Let's put our heads together and figure this out.